So I had been doing like a little bit of leadership without any direct reports. I think I became like a person that people went to, just like a go
Mm,
to for a lot of things. And then I started seeing an opportunity that, like, you would have people working on an RFP, and you would have the research team and the creative team and like a content team, and you've worked with editorial and you've gotten approvals for something unique that's never been done before. And you would use so many resources and work so hard, and then your client didn't buy it. And then it would just
yep.
die. It would just die, and all of that work would not be repurposed. And so I was like, is nobody else noticing this? So I made a pitch to be a group leader. And in that role, I was really helping to like bring things together. Like if we had a big pitch that didn't get sold through, then we would repackage it, take off all the logos, make it a little bit more generic, and bring it out to the floor and say, this is a really cool idea. It didn't sell through. First come, first serve. Like, who are you pitching it to? And we would make sure that if it was like for banks, like, are all the banks being pitched, or whatever it was. So a lot of work in that space. I also worked directly with various publishers to sort of be the champion of their market. I helped with market launches. I got to do all sorts of fun stuff.
Okay, so I want to go back to something you said there, that position, that leadership role was something that you had pitched to management and you had the details in order. You were already very aware of what was going on, and it sounds like you were already proactive before them actually giving you the title and those formal responsibilities and the accountability. Why did they give it to you as opposed to just saying, well, Heidi, you're already doing it. Why do we need to formalize this? Because I've been in situations where I've done something similar to what you've said, and management's like, but you already said you were going to do it and you've already been proactive. So why do we need to formalize it? And it feels like a bit of a gut punch because you're not getting the recognition you need. So why do you think in your instance, they listened to you and said, okay, we've got to formalize this, even though Heidi's somewhat got it already under control without the need to do that?
Think what it like by formalizing it, then there was an accountability as opposed to like, I'll do whatever I want whenever I want, just to be helpful
Mm.
and because like it feels good or whatever. By formalizing it, then it really was like, I have publisher one-on-ones. I have strategy sessions. There's information that needs to be communicated
Okay.
from upper management to sales in a certain way to onboard sales teams. There was many competing priorities at that point, and it was getting really overwhelming, I guess, really quickly. And so probably too, they saw the trajectory of the business that I couldn't yet see of where things were going. And so I think just having that extra level of support for the salespeople and a person that gets it, like when you're in it. So I had my own sales territory the whole time. So I'm facing the same objections or I'm facing the same pressures or overwhelm that the rest of the team is. So I feel like I was really best equipped to help them. It made a lot of sense.
I like what you said there because is it safe to say that you were in a player coach role at this point?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most underrated roles because it allows you to actually be empathetic with your employees or your team because like you said, you're in the trenches with them. You've got one hand out of that, like you're still in an office, but you still also got one foot in the trenches as well too. And I've seen it firsthand where give you an example. One company I was at, we'd sit around with the sales manager and we'd say, "Look, here's what we're seeing. Wasn't the best news to be the best news to deliver?" And they kind of look at you like, "Bullshit." Whereas there was one company I was at where we were working with a player coach, and it was refreshing to hear her say, "Yeah, I've heard the same thing as well too," or "No, I'm unfamiliar with that, but thanks for the heads up because this could come up."
I really experienced that exactly what you're talking about. Totally can relate to it. When I did move into the leadership role where I did have direct reports, my one of my favorite bosses, Teresa Rasp, was promoted from national sales director. I guess her title would have been to run the Metro Ottawa office, and moved away. And so I was approached to take over the leadership role and essentially become a boss to a bunch of my friends. That's a difficult transition. But my friends too were like, do it, do it, do it. This was the third time that I had been offered a leadership role and a promotion at Metro, and I had turned it down the first two times. And I said to myself, don't really think I want to do this, but if I say no now, they're never going to ask again and the door will be shut. So I better say yes. So I said yes. I said, well, while you continue to look for somebody, I can take on the role, but I'd like to keep my sales territory too. And I will work longer hours to get it done. And I did. And it was crazy. It was very stressful, very busy. I had so much help. Like my coordinators at the time and just like all the support teams really rallied to help. But when I was in the boardroom, going back to what you were saying, like all of the other leaders, it was interesting to be in a leadership meeting and hear how leaders spoke about salespeople.
Mhm. Yeah, even though they were usually they're salespeople, they were salespeople themselves at one
At
point.
some time, but not now, right? So I was the only one sort of straddling, and I just remember being like, mm. And I think really like a good salesperson doesn't make a good sales leader necessarily. It can for sure. I didn't love it. There was so much politics. We were merging more with Torstar at that time, many moving pieces, like so much politics and stress for everyone. And I like was just felt like, ugh, if I wanted more children, I would have had more children.
Good way of putting it, I like that.